Good afternoon, everybody. Agnostic Haywood here, reading the Bible for the first time in a long time. A lot of this stuff I don't remember because it's been decades, right? But I do remember vaguely some things much more strongly. Some things are referenced in popular culture. The plagues are perhaps those things, right? They're referenced in movies, books, and such. All right. Aaron speaks to Moses, or to speak for Moses. Aaron to speak for Moses. That's where we are. Now, when the Lord spoke to Moses in Egypt, he said to him, "And the Lord tell Pharaoh, king of Egypt, everything I tell you." But Moses said, "I speak with faltering lips. Why would Pharaoh listen to me?" So Pharaoh don't listen. Moses is kind of like difficult. Can't speak well, perhaps. I don't know. You know how some people have that command of voice. The Lord said to Moses, "See, I've made you like God to Pharaoh. Your brother Aaron will be your prophet. You are to say everything I command to you, and your brother Aaron is to tell Pharaoh to let the Israelites go out of his country. But I will harden Pharaoh's heart. They will multiply my miraculous signs and wonders in Egypt. He will not listen to you." Okay. So basically he's saying what he's going to do and what's going to happen, right? Seems like God would take a different approach if he knew what was going to happen. All right. "Then I will lay my hand on Egypt with the mighty acts of judgment. I'll bring out my divisions, the people of Israel, the Israelites, and the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord. Stretch out my hand against Egypt and bring the Israelites out of it." Okay, fine. Moses and Aaron did just as the Lord commanded them. Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 when they spoke to Pharaoh. Okay. Aaron's staff becomes a snake. Okay, here's the stuff. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, when Pharaoh says to you, "Perform a miracle," say to Aaron, "Take your staff, throw it on the ground." So Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh, did just as they commanded. Aaron threw his staff down, and it became a snake. Pharaoh summoned everybody, sorcerers, magicians. Also did the same things by their secret arts. Each one threw down his staff, and it became a snake. Aaron's staff swallowed up their staffs. Pharaoh's heart became hard, and he would not listen to them, just as the Lord had said. Okay, so everybody's got staff snakes. My goodness, it's craziness. All right, plague of blood. Plague of blood. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Pharaoh's heart is unyielding. He refuses to let them go. Go to Pharaoh in the morning. Wait on the bank. Take in your hand the staff that was charged, changed to a snake. Say to him, 'Lord God of Hebrews sent me to say to you, my people go.'" All right, Lord says, "The staff that's in my hand, I will strike the water of the Nile, and it will be changed to blood. Fish in the Nile will die." Poor fish. "The river will stink. Egyptians will not be able to drink its water." Okay, so that would pretty much freak me out. All right, so there's a river. Moses strikes it with his staff, and it turns to blood. And the poor fish die. Fish poop in the water. Yeah. All right. Lord, okay, so fine. Take your staff. Okay, perfect. And then we'll turn to blood. Blood will be everywhere, even in the wooden buckets and stone jars. Whoa. So this spell is going to affect all the water, perhaps? Not just water that's in the river. So the water doesn't have to be touching. It just has to be water, I guess. What about the water inside of people? Oh, that's already blood. Ha ha. What about in their stomach? Water in the stomach. Moses and Aaron did just as the Lord had commanded. He raised his staff in the presence of Pharaoh. Boom, struck the water in the Nile. The water changed to blood. Fish in the Nile died. The river smelled so bad, Egyptians could not drink it. Blood was everywhere. But the Egyptian magicians did the same thing by their secret arts. How do they do the same thing? I thought the water was already blood. What? All right, he didn't listen. So apparently Moses is using his tricks. The sorcerers have the same tricks. Nothing special about Moses' tricks compared to the sorcerers. Everybody back then could apparently take staffs and turn blood to water, turn staffs into snakes, and so on. All right. That was chapter 7. All right, plagues are next. I don't know what these are. Y'all have a good evening.